Before Gordon Cooper entered the space program, he had his own encounter with a different type of space traveler. While flying over Central Europe, his fighter squadron came upon a formation of UFOs.
There were a number of extraterrestrial vehicles out there cruising around, flying the same kind of formation we fly in our fighters. They didn't have wings, they were saucer-shaped, and we never could get as high or as fast as they were, so to really positively identify them, but they were metallic looking and saucer in shape. And they could do a few maneuvers that we couldn't do in an airplane, like just horizontally displace themselves rapidly, be flying along and just move over rapidly.
Then slowly it comes lower and lower and set it down between the white trees and the forest there behind.
Meyer later photographed left by the disc's tripod landing gear. The grass has been pressed and swirled in a counterclockwise direction. Even a year later, the grass has not sprung back, but Meyer notes that the impressions swarm with insect life.
Well, a Harris farmer discovered two unusual crop circles in his cornfield yesterday, and there's no explanation of how they were formed. The two perfect circles are about 50 yards apart and 120 feet wide, but there's no damage to the stalks, which are all bent over in a counterclockwise direction.
The grass has been pressed and swirled in a counterclockwise direction.
And the ears and leaves are intact. There are theories that crop circles are formed by extreme weather, animals, and more popular, paranormal activity.
If it's a prank, they sure had a lot of time on their hands, and they did a pretty good job of keeping everything so unique.
They only land in isolated places. They have taken people, I believe. They do have technology. Lord Hill Norton of the British Defense Staff said that he believed 23 different species are coming because they don't want anything to do with us. I don't think we will ever have a formal relationship, a formal contact with any alien species out there, especially after 9/11, when we broke our toys in the sandbox. If they were... And honestly, I don't think they're a mass threat, but I do believe they're breaking the law. I'm serious. Title 18, 1202, read the Travis Walton story.
When I was a corporate manager of Fairchild Industries in 1974 through 77, I met the late Dr. Werner von Braun in early 74. At that time, von Braun was dying of cancer, but he assured me that he would live a few more years in order to tell me about the game that was being played, that game being the effort to weaponize space, to control the Earth from space and space itself. Von Braun's purpose in life during the last years of his life, his dying years, was to educate the public and decision makers about why space-based weapons are a dumb, dangerous, destabilizing, too costly, unnecessary, unworkable, undesirable idea. The strategy that Werner von Braun taught me was that first the Russians are going to be considered to be the enemy. In fact, when I met him in 74, they were the enemy, the identified enemy. We were told that they had killer satellites. We were told that they were coming to get us and control us, the dirty commies, that whole story. First, the Russians were the enemy against whom we're going to build space-based weapons. Then terrorists would be identified, and that was soon to follow. We heard a lot about terrorism. Then we were going to identify third world country crazies. We now call them nations of concern. But he said that would be the third enemy against whom we would be needing to build space-based weapons. And the next enemy was asteroids. Now at this point, he kind of chuckled the first time he said it. Asteroids, against asteroids we're going to build space-based weapons. So it was funny then. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens.
They obviously have a different body configuration than we do, and the little grays, that's the most prevalent one. I don't know how many or where or how they're doing it, but they've been observing us and here for quite some time, and we see these craft all the time.
Ed Mitchell is a straight talker and a true believer that we are not alone.
I believe what I'm saying, and I cite the evidence that I know.
We are not alone for over 42 years. 4 major conclusions after 51 years of study, only 42 years of shooting my mouth off. Overwhelming that planet Earth is being visited by intelligently controlled extraterrestrial spacecraft. That means some, underlined 33 times, some UFOs are alien spacecraft. Most are not. I don't care about them. Second, we're dealing with a cosmic Watergate, meaning some few people within major governments have known since at least July 1947, when at least 2 flying saucers were recovered, crashed, bodies in New Mexico, near Roswell, if you will. That doesn't mean everybody in the government knows what's going on. That's not how security works. The third conclusion is that there are no good arguments to be made against the first 2 conclusions. There are noisy negativists out there who do charismatic hand-waving to try to say it's all baloney. None of their arguments stand up